Hey, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to all my cloud scholars out there. My name is Kieran Tross, and I want to thank you for clicking on this video. In today's video, we're going to go over Trustifi. I'm going to give it a product review. I'm going to try to stay within 15 minutes. I do have another video on Trustifi, which is a more extensive one, but this is for anyone who doesn't really, want to go through the extensive and you're looking through for a product to use, and you don't want to just use Microsoft products, or it might be too expensive. Trustifi is a really great solution. It does email encryption. It has AI intelligence associated with it. It's a really good email solution, and also one of the best out there to protect against phishing attacks. So on the screen right now, I do have Trustifi already up. I do want to just show you a quick PowerPoint slide to just get a general understanding about why a tool like Trustifi is so important. All right, in today's age, the importance of email security is extremely imperative, right? Email security is crucial in protecting sensitive information, preventing data breaches, defending against cyber attacks like phishing, ransomware, and business email compromise, which can result in significant financial and operational damage. Trustifi will cover you for all of these areas. So as I mentioned earlier, these are the different attacks that Trustifi works well against. So you have your phishing emails, which trick users into revealing sensitive information. We have ransomware, which is all over the news. You hear it's a type of malicious software that locks users out of their systems, and then you have to make a payment. You have malicious links. With Trustifi, you can throw the links into Trustifi, and it can verify about those links. Or when the links come into Trustifi, it will tell you about it itself. And then also you have your business email compromise, which involves attackers impersonating individuals in your organization. Okay, so let's jump into Trustifi. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the outbound management. So within the outbound management, I'm going to go over here straight to rules and policies. So as you can see, I have a rule already created here. One of the great things I like about Trustifi is that if you click over here and you click create rule, you can create a rule from scratch, or I can cancel out of this and I can create a rule based on the industry I work out of. Now, I have done a lot of rules with email security tools, especially with Microsoft. You have to create them out of the box. I do it all the time, so it may not take me as long as other individuals, but this is really great. You can choose an industry. Let's say if I say global, healthcare, or finance, or education, I can go with healthcare and I can click on apply, and Trustifi would automatically provide me rules to help safeguard my environment. So this says secure medical data transmission. It is active. It's got an if and. Basically, it says actions to perform, encrypt message content, require authentication. It gives us the date and time, plus this little widget right here, this usage data. If I click on it, right now, nothing shows up because we just created it, but it will give you information about what this rule blocked, allowed, so on and so forth. Then over here in actions, we can clone it, we can edit it, or we can delete it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here just to make it much easier and simpler. I don't really want these rules right here. So actions for 5 items, I am going to delete. And just like that, you can delete them. So with this rule right here, we have a rule, right? And basically what this does is sensitive type detected in body of attachment contains social security information, United States social security number. So what this is saying is if it has a sensitive score of 3 or above, and Trustifi already has these things implemented within it, that if you send an email with a social security number, it is going to encrypt that email, right? And see right here, actions, encrypt message content, and require authentication. Now over here in policies, you have things that you can allow or deny, right? So you can choose which settings will be enabled by default for all emails. And you have a bunch. You have encrypt message content. You could require authentication. You also have this thing which is strict, and basically what this says is users can still choose to disable or modify these settings unless strict is applied. So if strict is applied, then it is handled from a global standpoint. Users cannot make any changes at all for the settings. So you have a lot down here. You have authentication methods allowed, attachments, encryption policies. There's a lot that you could go through, but this section is pretty straightforward. And based on what you want in your organization, you will allow certain things. So for instance, block outbound emails for attachment types, And if it's macros, scripts, or executables, you can block certain things. You can block inappropriate content. You can notify senders about block emails, so on and so forth. So I'm going to come back up here, and the next tab we have is our reviewers. So you have your reviewers will receive notifications about quarantine email threats sent by your protected mailbox and will be able to take immediate actions. So this is who will be able to review what's going on in the quarantine section down here for your quarantine emails. What I want to do is I want to show you an email that I sent, and I put some information in. So I have my Alice test user. And over here, my Alice test user, I sent an email to Cloud Scholars. And basically, I said, here is some information you need. And I put in a dummy social security number in here. And with this dummy social security number, basically what's going to happen is Trustifi is going to see that, and the email gets sent out from Exchange, my Exchange server. It has to go through and get filtered by Trustifi. Trustifi says, let me look at this email and see if anything in this email is applied to any of the rules, like a social security number. And what I need to do is I'm going to encrypt that email. So if I come to my Cloud Scholars tab right here where my emails are, so right here, it says social info is here. That is the subject of the email that I sent out. And you can see right here is it already is encrypted. It says authenticate to decrypt an open message. So we know that this one works. We know that this rule works. It is applicable, that it is working. I'm not going through the whole setup portion of this. I'm trying to stay within 15 minutes for this product review. Over here, we have data classification. So right here, this first section, you have your trends. Right now, there's no information showing here, but you get a lot of information showing you exactly what's going on in your environment, any compliance violations or anything like that. If I say the last day, nothing really coming on. The last month or the last week, okay, here we go. The last week, we're seeing more data populate. So you just have to play around up here. You're obviously going to get more than what I'm getting because this is a lab environment. Please keep that in mind. If I go for the last month, there we go. We're seeing some more data populate, and we can see we sent some information to our Gmail account, which is my account. If I come here to sensitive types, this is your sensitive types that come out of the box, and you can see the compliance over here. So for instance, user credentials, the type is a text, the minimum score, so already has the score. So what you saw earlier with my rule, I had a score of a 3 or above. This is the score that we're referring to. And then it has a max score. Plus, it gives you the compliance, whether it's CCPA, GDPR, PDPO, so on and so forth. Then you have personal types. This is your own sensitive information type. So basically what this is saying is, if you have anything that's germane to your organization, that can be a document, that could be some type of, database or some wording that you have, you can add it here because you're working in the industry and you don't want your competitors to see what's going on. So if anybody accidentally sends a file or a form that is germane to your business, you can add that as a sensitive type here. And then down here, we have our test sensitivity, right? So you can say, okay, let me scan a text. So for instance, if I wanted to put something in, and I'll throw a social security number in here, and I'll do .55.1234, and I'll add some text just to make sure here is some dummy data, and I say scan text. It says sensitivity score, United States Social Security number, and it gives us the compliance over here as well. Let me move this over, and you can see that it gives us that as well, and I'll move that back. So I'm going to jump over to inbound. Over at inbound, we want to jump over to inbound shield. So inbound shield is how emails are going to be received. How are people going to be able to see their emails? And what happens is you have our sender, we have Trustifi, and then we finally have over here is going to be our inboxes. So we have threat detection. There's two modes. There's standard or aggressive, right? I would say you can probably start off with aggressive and dial back if it's too much. I tend to do that when it comes to security. Reviewers, it has been moved to the reviewers tab up here. We have on click link scan. So that is really important, right? So that is one of those Trustifi AI email security solutions where it is able to say, okay, if they click on it, they are able to, see what's going on and block certain actions. They have this option down here where you can allow users to continue to URLs blocked by on-click scan. I don't think anybody's ever going to do that. So when it comes to threat prevention rules, this is a must in your organization. So what this is going to do is default actions for emails detected by Inbound Shield as malicious, suspicious, spam, and gray mail. So what this does is we have this: when an email is detected as malicious, when an email is detected as suspicious, spam, gray mail, you have the certain options, and they all are the same except for this one down here, and I'm going to get to that in a little bit. You have quarantine or release. And then you also have a secondary option which you can add a warning label, you can add some subject text, you could notify a reviewer, or you can notify a recipient. And then you also have a retention period for how long you want to keep it in quarantine, and so on and so forth. Now here, when email is detected as suspicious, you have a label. You can modify a label if you wanted to. And here's a label with the warning text saying, has detected suspicious elements in this email. You're advised to be cautious. And you could change the color. I would definitely go with a bright color. If this was me setting up an organization, I would definitely go with a bright color because that is going to draw the attention of your user environment. Over here, down here is where I want to get into, is when an email is detected as external and unfamiliar. So they have a category where they have it where if you're familiar and there's a rating. So if you are sending emails back and forth with this individual, that trust relationship will build, right? That is a part of that whole AI email security solution that Trustifi has, right? It's literally one of the only full suite email security solutions that I've really seen out there that provides that kind of capability. So I normally do is what I'll do is something like within Exchange, I will set up a mail flow rule. If it comes from external, you can have a banner there. This is exactly what this will do for you. And you can modify the label. And here you would have the warning colors, and you would be able to see how that would show up. Well, inbound email rules. Now, this is a good one. So we have a rule here which essentially is blocking any email coming from Cloud Scholar. So if I were to click on this rule here, I can see it says action, quarantine, keep record, notify recipient, and notify reviewer. If I click on it, I can get some data about what's going on. If you remember earlier, some of the other ones I clicked on, there was no data. I have already sent an email from Cloud Scholars to this Alice test email here, and you can see that it blocked the information. Right. So, and then it went straight to quarantine, and you can allow that as well. So I'm going to send another email and watch it in quarantine and show you exactly how it will show up for your users. All right. So our email has shown up. As you can see, Inbound Show sent you a secured message via Trustifi. An email from Cloud Scholars that was sent to Alice was quarantined according to admin's rule, and it says block Cloud Scholars because that was our admin rule. Email subject, my test, product email review. And if I click here and I review email and take actions, it will open up another tab. And here I will see certain things. So remember what I mentioned earlier about the relationship. It says message analysis. Here we have a relationship that is extremely low. Right here on analysis summary, we have no malicious sender metrics detected, no malicious links detected. So it gives you a quick summary about it. Down here is the actions that you can take if you want to release, set not handled, allow list, block list, authenticate. You also have some more information down here that you can go through. On this side, you can click show content, and you can see what's going on here where it says you sure do trust me. Over here at the Trustifi page, I want to come back and I want to come to quarantine email. If I click get emails, here you will say the email that you have, right? So I can click here, actions, I could trust sender, I can delete the record, I could release to mailbox if I want to over here, or on this side, I can just say here, I'm gonna release it. And remember, Alice is a reviewer. So that's one of the reasons why I'm able to see this. And I could just leave it as release email to all mailboxes, add warning label if I wanted to. I can add a subject. I have all these different options here, and I will just click on confirm, and I will release this mailbox. And then once, this email, as you can hear the sound that went off just now, if I come back over here, I'm able to see the email. It has hit the mailbox, right? And then if I, do a refresh on this and I go back into my quarantine emails and get emails, you can see status has changed from quarantine to release. So finally, I want to end off with the account takeover, right? So if I go into account takeover, here is our account management, view and manage user accounts to protect against account takeover. This is blocking like certain things like impersonations from happening. So you would want to definitely add like top users into this area, like your C-suite, your directors, your managers, and people of that nature in this area. So over here, you have configurations. You have, you could choose the instance of potential suspicious activities to be identified for specific users. So you can say suspicious device change. You have the option of all users, or you can do specific users if you wanted to. And then you have an option here of what actions you want to take. You want to notify a reviewer, you want to notify a user, block user, and so forth. And you pretty much can do this for all these different incidents, right? So you could do unusual amount of emails sent. This is a big one. Sensitive data sent to new domains, sensitive data sent to free email domains. All this stuff you have the option of doing here as well. And then over here, when it comes to reviewers, you have reviewers for your account takeover section. So please keep in mind the reviewers here and your reviewers for your inbound management are different. You can have different reviewers if you have people who have different roles and responsibilities on your team. So here is a nice view. I really like this view because it's a timeline view. You can break it down to show timeline or show list. I like the timeline view because to me, I don't know, I just feel like it's just a little bit better and easier to comprehend and digest, but to each his own. But you have the option to view and see what happens and where those emails went. All right, so that is a wrap for the product review. I just wanted to bring up this PowerPoint slide where it talks about these different attacks as a reminder of what Trustifi is going to fight against and protect your environment with. So, Trustifi is one of the top email security solutions out there. It has the AI security solution associated with it. Plus, it integrates so well with your environment. So, I want to thank you all for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, please smash that like or subscribe button. If you are using Trustifi in your environment or looking to use Trustifi, please leave your comments in the comment section. I would love to hear about you and your experience with Trustifi. So once again, my name is Kieran Tross. I want to thank you for watching this video. Here at Cloud Scholars, my goal is to get you from scholar to consultant, and of course, consultant to expert. Thank you. See you next time.